Many thanks for joining us. I am Ansmane Sonyasi, and this is QTV Midday News coming to you live from our studios on Kerba Avenue. Here are the main local and international news headlines. According to a medical doctor, fasting during the month of Ramadan is one of the best ways to detoxify the body, which also has many health benefits. We sought public opinion on managing what we eat to avoid wasting food during the holy month of Ramadan. And in fulfillment of President Barrow's campaign pledge during his Meet the People tour, 6 ambulances were presented to 6 communities in URR. In international news, Senegal, the Gambia's closest neighbor, yesterday commemorated its 62nd independence anniversary. Stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. And we now take a look at the news in detail. According to a medical doctor, fasting during the month of Ramadan is one of the best ways to detoxify the body, and if done properly, has many health benefits. Loliam Kamara has more.
Fasting is the fourth of the 5th pillar of Islam, and the holy month brings Muslims and their loved ones closer to Allah spiritually. Regarding the health benefits of fasting, here is Dr. Abubakar Jah, Medical Director, Sarab Medical Center.
Some of the health benefits include the fact that during this time of fasting, it gives the body the opportunity to detoxify. Because you have a long period you are not eating, it gives the opportunity for the body to remove a lot of those harmful things from the body. So it's like a cleaning exercise, a new cleaning exercise that you're doing. Another very important role of fasting is that we take a lot of sugar. I think we had a program in HealthLink where we talked about the harmful effects of sugar. Sugar is actually considered to be a poison, and the only time that is useful for us if we take it in a very, very small quantity. But the quantities we take are actually harmful for us, and because of that, God has created us with a system to be able to take care of that sugar. The third benefit that we can talk about in fasting is that fasting does improve our immunity. It helps the immune system.
Many people believe Ramadan is a month to cook different types of food and eat a lot after breaking fast. However, according to Dr. Jah, to gain these benefits of fasting, one needs to avoid certain things, especially overeating.
Some of us take the opportunity of fasting to overeat, and some of us actually we gain weight during the fasting rather than reducing weight during the fasting. So if you do the fasting that way, you are not going to reap the health benefits of fasting. What we don't want is for somebody to break the fast, sit down in one sitting, and eat what they were supposed to eat the whole day. And you eat such that you cannot even get up from where you are sitting down, or when you get up, you're having a big tummy ache.
Many people diagnosed with conditions such as diabetes and ulcers, amongst others, can manage to fast during the Ramadan. I asked the doctor what those with other conditions should do if they are considering fasting.
There are some illnesses that do not go well with fasting. But it doesn't mean that once somebody mentions that illness to you, you can just take it as a license not to fast. Because a lot of those illnesses, there is a way around it so that it can help you to fast. But obviously, if your illness is such that fasting is going to give you harmful effects, then you should not fast.
In addition to speaking about fasting, Dr. Jah took the opportunity to encourage people to be more generous during Ramadan rather than spending money wastefully.
Conduct the Ramadan the way the spirit of the Ramadan is, which is that it is a time to reduce stress, it is a time to be kind to everybody, and it is a time to avoid too much food.
For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
Now, still on fasting, food is part of the Ramadan tradition. Iftar is celebrated at sunset when Muslims break their fast, and suhoor consumed early in the morning before the day starts. Our reporter Ajibintu Drame showed public opinion on managing what we eat to avoid wasting food.
Fasting has an important role in teaching patience, compassion, and gratitude. It also reminds people about those suffering from poverty and hunger. Ramadan is a time for moderation, and wasting food is prohibited. Throwing or wasting food in garbage bins is not permissible in Islam, as doing so is considered as disregarding the blessings of Allah and a failure to comply with His orders. Studies have shown that a lot of food is thrown away during the holy month, which could have been used to feed the needy or hungry people. Dauda Gay share his thoughts.
Wastage of food is not good. Among the reasons people do so is due to showing off, going for extravagant shopping which you will not need, or just copying what others are doing. Everyone wants to make his or her family happy. But if you are blessed, give some to the people who need it the most, because some people have breakfast but can't afford lunch.
People should show gratitude and appreciation to God by sharing and distributing the excess food among the poor and needy. Islam emphasizes the requirement to take care of one's neighbor. In quote, not a believer who sleeps and his neighbor is hungry. Ndeye Sohna Samba implores people to give out food to the less privileged instead of throwing it.
Weeri koor bi surtout ma ñun jigéen yi li ndee tooga daf dee bari suñ mënee emale suñ toogay.
Because things are hard now during this Ramadan, especially for us women, we cook a lot of food. If we can cook moderately for our family, it will be good. It's better than throwing food away. If cooking a small amount of food is not possible, give some of what is surplus to the needy or to your neighbor who needs it. Mor Mangan says Islam forbids us from throwing food.
Throwing food is not good. The food being thrown away could be needed by others, so do not throw away food. There is a lot of wasted food around, yet some don't even have food to break their fast. Islam does not condone such behavior.
Ramadan is a time Allah showers us with His infinite mercy and blessings. One of the best ways to increase our iman, our faith, and multiply our reward in the blessed month is by providing iftar to someone less fortunate. This is a beautiful deed that the Prophet practiced and encouraged Muslims to perform. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever gives food for a fasting person to break his fast, he will have a reward like theirs, without detracting from their reward in the slightest. Therefore, Muslims are urged to give excess food to the poor and needy instead of throwing it away. Ajibintu Dwame, QTV News.
During his Meet the People tour, President Adama Barrow pledged to deliver community ambulances to all communities in the Gambia. In fulfillment of this promise, the Regional Health Directorate in Basse delivered 6 ambulances to 6 communities in URR. Our reporter Alaji F. Jallo attended the ceremony and he files this report.
President Barrow has moved to fulfill one of the promises he made to the people during his last Meet the People tour. 6 new ambulances were delivered to 6 communities in URR to complete the number of ambulances promised per district. At the presentation, the governor of URR, Sambaba, said this initiative by government is the first of its kind in the country. He therefore implored the beneficiary community to ensure the ambulances serve their intended purpose. He went on further to debunk some rumors circulating on social media.
The reason why we are having community ambulance is because of the problems that women have been encountering when it comes to delivery and other ailments which they encounter. And sometimes to have access to the hospitals becomes a big problem. The rumors that was circulated on social media and whatsoever to play. So there's no like recycling where you have to go and say this ambulance is taken to this particular place and you have to bring it again and say the same ambulance going to the other community. No, that is something that is not happening.
Ibrahim Balde, the acting regional health director, said the fleet of ambulances given out to communities is a promise made and a promise fulfilled by President Barrow's government.
Yeah, if you could recall, there was this time when the President, His Excellency, Adama Barrow, made a commitment to the nation that he was going to provide community ambulances across the length and breadth of this country. And from the very beginning, I think the number of ambulances that were earmarked for that purpose went up to 80. But as we stand today, I think it's more than the 80 ambulances.
Both Jalaman Ture and Nemuna Kamara expressed delight, the gift of the ambulances, explaining their ordeals, particularly in transporting pregnant women to health facilities before the coming of this life-saving project.
Kontanta bake ambulance lorin konko be safari ngabala.
My name is Jalangan Ture, the Sandu Kwanku VDC chairman. I am delighted today to see the name of my community written on this ambulance. From 1987 to 2010, the number of pregnant women that delivered with me on my donkey cart from Kwanku to Yerobawal Clinic and from Kwanku to Diabugu Clinic is more than 40. If I see today, Kwanku has been given an ambulance to transport pregnant women and women in labor to the clinics without delay, we will really thank God and the government of the day for this development. Women, these ambulances are brought for us. So therefore, I am talking to all the women leaders in these communities. We have to thank Allah. We should be very grateful to the Barrow government. I have been involved for a very long time in helping to transport women in labor between Diabugu and Dalabad village. There used to be a swamp. We had to bath a lot of newborn babies in that dirty swamp. This was all due to the mode of transport available. We encountered a lot of delays. We sometimes use horse or donkey carts, bicycles or motorcycles. Today, if we have an ambulance transporting our pregnant women to clinics without delay and in a safe environment, we have to thank and praise God. We are grateful to the government of the day for this life-saving initiative. These ambulances were given to Kuonko, Sare Bojo, Naude, Bagadaji, Nyamanar, and Barokunda villages respectively. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alaji F. Jallo.
And the report there by Alaji F. Jallo will lead us to a short commercial break, but the news continues when we return.
QCell's Q Prayer and Q Ramadan service reminds you of your 5 daily prayer times and the start and end times for your fast. Simply send prayer to 331 to be reminded of the 5 daily prayer times. Send Ramadan or fast to 332 to be notified of the start and iftar time of fasting on a daily basis. QCell wishes you all a blessed Ramadan. We innovate, others follow.
Your favorite QCell service has gotten bigger. eFunkanta. Now you can loan bigger credit amounts to make life easier for you. Loan $75C and $100C and pay later. Yes, you heard me right. Get credit loan from $10C to $100C using eFunkanta by dialing *393#. Anytime you run out of credit, whether you want to buy Q Power, browse the internet, make urgent calls, or send SMS. eFunkanta is the service for you. Dial *393# and choose the loan amount of your choice with no hassle. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyabus, the pioneers of mobile loan service in the Gambia. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Thanks for staying with us. Be reminded you're watching QTV Midday News and we're broadcasting live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Now, the Deputy CDS of the Gambia Armed Forces, Major General Mamat Ocham, on Sunday welcomed home members of the Gambia Armed Forces Quick Reaction Force contingent who were in Turkey undergoing training for peacekeeping missions. More in this report. Led by Lieutenant Colonel Abdullah Jata, this is the third contingent of the Quick Reaction Force, comprising 500 personnel of the Gambia Armed Forces who were in Turkey training on various military courses. Their training included counter-terrorism and close protection courses, amongst others. This major capacity building exercise has been hailed by the GAF leadership as a testament to the excellent bilateral relations between the two countries. Dilara Salmani, Turkey's deputy ambassador to the Gambia, commended members of QRF-3 who have just returned from Turkey for their discipline and dedication during their training.
During the trainings in Turkey, all 500 military, all soldiers were shown to be disciplinary, professional, dedicated, solidary, and they proved themselves to be exemplary during the peacekeeping and peace supporting trainings. So I would like to thank you once again for your dedication. And I strongly believe that you will only continue to move, carry onward from now on as well.
Deputy CDS Major General Mahmoud Ocham thanked the Turkish government for providing GAF personnel the support and opportunity to undergo such high-profile military training in their country, and went on to give an assurance of GAF Command's resolute commitment to work closely with their Turkish counterparts, especially in improving the capacity of their personnel. The Deputy CDS also congratulated the officers for their exemplary and admirable display of discipline and commitment.
I want to use this occasion to thank the Turkish Armed Forces for the excellent support they have been giving us in the fields of training, and also very excellent and required material and logistic support. It cannot come at a better time as we prepare for deployments to a possible UN mission. Their contribution in terms of training as well as material support is second to none.
On behalf of the returning officers, Lieutenant Colonel Abdullah Jatta, Contingent Commander of the Quick Reaction Force 3, thanked the GAF leadership and Turkish government for giving them the opportunity to train in what he described as one of the best counter-terrorism schools in Turkey, and promised that they will endeavor to share the experience and knowledge gained as well as put it into practice in their daily work.
So the training was very important, and luckily for us, we were able to train based on mission specific. If you look at the status of statement of unit requirement, we were asked to train based on mission specific. And the QRF is not like a previous deployment that we were doing in Darfur, that is base protection. QRF is an element of the force commander, and it is used for interventions, and and it needs to be well trained and needs to be a robust unit that is supposed to build confidence among the host nation and also the peacekeepers.
Turkey has enjoyed long-standing bilateral relations with the Gambia and has been offering military training services to the Gambia for over 3 decades. And officials of both countries have expressed hope in and commitment to provide more of similar trainings in future. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News. Now on to international news. Senegal, the Gambia's closest neighbor, yesterday commemorated its independence anniversary, marking 62 years since the country gained or attained self-rule from France. After over 6 decades of nationhood, we reflect on the country's socio-economic transformation since independence. Omar Laming Choi has more.
Senegal was the center of colonial administration of the French in West Africa before gaining independence, with its capital formerly in Saint Louis and finally in Dakar since 1960. Senegal gained its independence from France after breaking away from the Mali Federation, which was formed by merging Senegal and the French Sudan in 1959. Exactly on this day in 1960, the country became officially an autonomous republic after a transfer of power agreement was signed. Since independence, the country has seen transformations that have propelled it to be a stable nation with an institutionalized democracy. Senegal has witnessed peaceful democratic transition with 4 presidents. The country is acclaimed as one of the few African states that has never experienced a coup. Current President Sall's predecessors, Wade, Diouf and Senghor, served 12, 19 and 20 years respectively. As of 2nd April, Sall has served 10 years. Since independence in 1960, Senegal has proved to be a viable economy that has developed at a growing pace. Its GDP averaged $7.85 billion in 1960 and reached an all-time high of $25 billion in 2020, thus earning it a low to middle income status. Its national income per capita is around $1,500. The West African country's economy grew more than 6% per year between 2014 and 2018. Senegal occupies 2nd place after Ivory Coast in terms of industrial development among West African Francophonie countries. As one of the world's prominent phosphate producers, The country has also other mineral resources including gold, oil, titanium, marble, zirconium and limestone. Senegal largely depends on mining, tourism, fishing and agriculture as its main sources of foreign exchange, and it is one of the most visited countries in West Africa. As well as Europe being the major source of tourists, the Senegalese government have managed to attract other visitors, especially Americans who tend to visit the former slave fort on Gorée Island. Factors considered to be a source of leverage for Senegal's economic progress are its democratic tradition, a young population, vast agricultural and mining potential, and its strategic geographical position on the western edge of Africa's Atlantic coast. In terms of trade and exports, Senegal has 3 seaports in Kaolack, Ziguinchor and Dakar. Dakar has become one of the busiest ports in West Africa and accommodates ships of up to 100,000 tons along 6 miles. Since 2014, the current government of Macky Sall has implemented a development plan called Emerging Senegal to transform the country's transportation, energy and construction sectors. Presently, Senegal is one of the few African countries where over half of the population has access to electricity. At least 70% of its population have access to electricity. In recent months, Senegal inaugurated various landmark development facilities, including the Museum of Black Civilizations, a $1 billion regional express train, and a €200 million 50,000-seat capacity stadium. Senegal's independence anniversary coincides with Ramadan, which might shape festivities for the National Day, given 96% of its population being Muslims. The country's independence festivities are usually filled with music, parades, and indulging in delicious cuisine like the national dish of Chebujen, known as Benachin in the Gambia. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Well, that is all we have for you in this bulletin, but before we take a leave of you, here's a recap for our main headlines. According to Dr. Abubakar Jah, a medical doctor, fasting during the month of Ramadan is one of the best ways to detoxify the body, which have many health benefits. We showed public opinion on managing what we eat to avoid wasting food during the holy month of Ramadan. And in fulfillment of President Barrow's campaign pledge, during his Meet the People tour, 6 ambulances were presented to 6 communities in URR. And in international news, Senegal, the Gambia's closest neighbor, yesterday commemorated its independence anniversary, marking 62 years since the country attained self-rule from France. That is all for you in this bulletin. Do join us in the evening for more news. Thanks for watching.